Welcome to The Explainer. If you're preparing for the Cambridge AS and A-level accounting exams, you already know that the topic of partnership dissolution, and specifically the realization account, is a high-tariff topic. It's the kind of complex question that can trigger instant test anxiety the moment you turn the page. But right now, we are going to completely dismantle that panic. Just take a breath. By the end of this deep focus session, you are going to have a calm, highly strategic mastery over this exact accounting procedure. You'll be able to approach even the most complex, multi-layered scenarios with absolute clarity and precision. Okay, let's dive right in.
Here is our logical roadmap for today. We'll start with setting the focus level, move into decoding core principles, break down the method mark strategy, cover avoiding examiner traps, and finish up by building your exam strategy toolkit.
Step 1. Setting the focus level.
To truly master this, we need to do a mindful scan of what Cambridge actually wants from you. They require you to hit 3 very distinct cognitive domains to achieve that top band score. First up is knowledge and understanding. That just means knowing exactly what a realization account is and why we use it. Second is analysis. This is where you extract and interpret data from complex texts and tables, really showing you understand the underlying relationships between different financial elements. And third, this is the big one, evaluation, making justified recommendations. You see, to get an A-star, it's not enough to just memorize a textbook. You have to understand the rule, apply that rule calmly to messy, complex data, and then brilliantly evaluate the outcome of that application. It's a systematic progression.
Moving on to Section 2, Decoding Core Accounting Principles.
There's a crucial quote from the examiner reports that you need to keep at the front of your mind. The assessment framework prioritizes analytical depth over superficial breadth. What does that actually mean for you sitting in the exam hall? Well, it means Cambridge examiners simply do not want a dozen shallow, disconnected facts just scattered across your paper. A lot of highly analytical students make this mistake. They panic and try to cram every fact they know onto the page. Don't do that. Examiners are looking for calm, logical, structured reasoning. You need to analyze 1 or 2 core impacts deeply. For example, exactly how does the realization of a specific asset impact the final capital accounts? Or why was a very specific evaluation method chosen for this unique partnership? Depth, my friends, will always outscore breadth, every single time.
Section 3. The method mark strategy. This is exactly how we lower that exam anxiety.
To lock in those critical method marks, you need a flawless, unshakable workflow. Think of it as a strict 5-step recipe. Step 1. Calmly identify the given information. Just peel back the filler words and isolate the exact data points. Step 2. Break the problem into logical steps. Step 3. Solve systematically, line by line, calculation by calculation. This proves to the examiner you have a structural framework. Step 4. Check for reasonableness. Does this number actually make sense in the real world? And finally, Step 5. Make your justified recommendations. Now, you might be tempted to skip straight to the end, but this exact deconstruct, solve, evaluate workflow guarantees that the examiner can effortlessly follow your logical reasoning. Even if you make a tiny arithmetic error right at the end, this structure ensures you are still rewarded with every possible method mark along the way.
All right, let's just pause our on-screen work for a second, take a deliberate breath, and let's do an intentional focus reboot. If you're finding this calm, structural breakdown helpful, make sure to check your study dashboard and hit subscribe to @AceTheExams right now. Whether your target is an AS or a full A-level A-star, consider this channel your weekly space for stress-free exam mastery. Okay, focus restored? Perfect. Let's look at exactly where students lose marks.
Section 4. Avoiding examiner traps. Let's systematically dismantle them.
When you meticulously read through the Cambridge Principal Examiner Reports, 3 critical presentation errors pop up year after year. Mistake number 1, forgetting proper format. Students literally throw away incredibly easy marks on basic accounting hygiene, like missing titles and missing labels. Just a totally unforced error. Mistake number 2, forgetting to check format and presentation overall. This results in messy, chaotic annotations that the examiner simply cannot follow, and if they can't follow it, they can't award method marks. And then we have mistake number 3, which is absolutely devastating to your grade, providing answers that are not specific to the context given. Look, writing a beautiful textbook definition without mentioning the specific partners or the exact industry detailed in the prompt forces the examiner to withhold the highest marks. It shows a lack of situational application.
Let's actually look at a flawed student paragraph on the screen and contrast it against a pristine, high-scoring response. A generic answer might say, assets are sold to pay off liabilities during dissolution. Now, technically, that's true, but it earns very little credit because it's completely generic. Instead, we need to use the PEAL structure: point, evidence, explanation, link. Watch how we restore structural balance to the text. In the dissolution of the retail partnership between John and Sarah, the motor vehicles realized a 20% loss, directly reducing final capital available to settle their outstanding trade payables. Do you see the difference there? It's huge. The second response perfectly weaves our strict accounting conventions with the specific context of John, Sarah, their retail business, and their motor vehicles.
And this leads us directly to the single most important rule of the written evaluation sections. The examiner explicitly warns, the classic mistake is providing generic answers not specific to the question context. Always link every point to the given scenario. This is absolute law. When Cambridge asks you to evaluate alternatives or make justified recommendations, your justifications must be built from the hard evidence provided in that specific exam paper. You have to consider the unique perspectives of the partners involved and anchor every single point back to their scenario. Doing this consistently is the absolute hallmark of a deeply analytical A-star candidate.
Finally, Section 5, your exam strategy toolkit. Let's pull all this together.
Let's finalize this clean visual checklist of strict conventions so you don't leave any formatting marks on the table. Under presentation, proper headings and clear annotations are simply non-negotiable. Every single working calculation must be referenced so the examiner can follow your trail without guessing. Under professional skills, you must use precise, accurate accounting terminology. Write bank or capital account, definitely not colloquial phrases like money in or money out. Cleanly presented, professionally formatted accounts instantly signal deep, systematic competence to the examiner, and trust me, that sets a highly positive tone for the entire grading process of your paper.
Before we wrap up our session today, I want to give you a final high-yield memory tactic drawn directly from cognitive science, the visual story method. If you want to deeply encode the somewhat dry concepts of partnership dissolution into your long-term memory, you need to transform the data into a vivid visual story. Let's do it right now. I want you to picture the partnership as a physical building. The resultization account, that's a massive empty room right in the center of the building. First, in your mind, you sweep all the physical assets, desks, computers, inventory, straight into this room. Then you open the big double doors and sell them off to the public, carefully recording the cash coming in. Next, you step outside and quickly pay off the people waiting in line. Those are your liabilities. Finally, whatever profit or loss is left sitting in the middle of the room is swept directly into the partners' individual briefcases, their capital accounts, as they walk out the door for the very last time. This simple spatial narrative encoding dramatically enhances your cognitive retention so you won't blank out during the exam.
And there we have it. We've successfully distilled this entire complex topic into our core pillars, decoding the text mindfully, relying on the method mark workflow to pace yourself, and linking every single evaluation to the specific context. Now, as we close out this explainer, I have a challenge for you. I want you to declare your intentions. Drop down in the comments right now and tell me, what specific subject, tier, and target grade are you currently meditating on? Putting it in writing is the very first step to making it a reality. Make sure you are subscribed to @The Exams. Click that notification bell for future focused deployments, and most importantly, continue practicing your past papers with calm, clear intent. See you in the next explainer.